Hi there, everyone. Welcome back to 3 News Now. I'm Stephanie Haney, and today is Wednesday, May 26th. Thank you for being here for the top stories from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. We start off with a severe weather update. A severe thunderstorm watch has been issued for parts of Northeast Ohio through 8 p.m. Portions of the following counties are included in that watch area: Mahoning, Portage, Stark, Summit, Trumbull, Tuscarawas, and Wayne counties. Now, the 3 News weather team says that these storms are a product of a cold front moving in throughout the area this afternoon. Highs will reach the low 80s today, and then cool air will be settling in for several days. Just to give you some perspective here, highs will be stuck in the 60s, even the upper 50s for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and the humidity will be dropping. Now we have a breaking news update for you about the San Jose shooting in California, a mass shooting there where officials are now reporting that 8 people have been killed, including the suspect also killed. Now, it's not clear at this time whether the 8 people killed includes the suspect who has also been killed or whether the suspect is in addition to 8 people who were killed. But this happened at the Valley Transportation Authority light rail yard that serves Silicon Valley early this morning. We're not clear on the number of people who have been wounded. What we do know is that this facility is next door to a sheriff's department and across the freeway from an airport. It's a transit control center that stores trains and has a maintenance yard. This is a developing story, and as we have more information, it will be available on WKYC.com and our WKYC app. Here in Cuyahoga County, authorities are now saying that 31 people have been arrested in connection with a child sex crime investigation that's being called Operation Deja Vu. These people were arrested between May 19th through the 22nd, with suspects ranging in age from 20 to 80 years old, and we do have video of those arrests on WKYC.com. Cuyahoga County Prosecutor Michael C. O'Malley says the suspects came from 5 different counties, and they were, quote, attempting to engage in sexual activities with minors. David Frattar, Ohio's ICAC task force commander, says the suspects were involved in sexually explicit online conversations with people they believed were under the age of 16. They were using social media platforms to make this contact, and some of them reportedly sending videos of their private parts to young people. Some of the charges included in this case include all 31 suspects charged with attempted unlawful sexual conduct with a minor, 4 suspects charged with compelling prostitution, 2 charged with disseminating matter harmful to juveniles, 1 charged with carrying a concealed weapon, and another charged with failure to comply. Now, all of these charges will be presented to the Cuyahoga County Grand Jury. Now, to happier news for a lot of people, the first winner has already been pulled in Ohio's Vax-a-Million drawing. The first 2 winners, actually, that includes the adult in the $1 million drawing and the teen in the Ohio Scholarship drawing. And that winner's name will be announced publicly today at 7:29 p.m. We will have that live on Channel 3 on TV, also on WKYC.com, our WKYC app, and our station's Facebook and YouTube pages. So Channel 3 is definitely your destination for finding out who that winner is when that is announced tonight. Now, if you haven't yet entered, you do have to have at least 1 COVID-19 vaccination shot. If you're between the ages of 12 and 17, you can enter for a college scholarship. If you're 18 and above, you can enter for a chance at $1 million. The deadline to enter for the next drawing, with that winner to be announced next Wednesday, is this coming Sunday. So the deadline is always the Sunday before that week's drawing, and there will be 4 more drawings, 4 more winners announced for each category after today. So to enter, you go to OhioVaxAMillion.com. Vax is spelled VAX. Or you can call the Ohio Department of Health at 1-833-4-ASK-ODH. That's 1-833-427-5634. Now let's take a look at the latest COVID-19 numbers. These first numbers come from Johns Hopkins University. Globally, there have been 167,971,509 reported COVID-19 cases. The U.S. has 19.7% of those cases, that number being 33,172,607. There have been a total of 3,488,625 reported COVID-19 deaths around the world. The U.S. has 17% of those deaths, that number now at 591,100. 179. Here in Ohio, the total number of COVID cases reported in the last day is now 987. Now, we saw a very low number on Monday for the last 24 hours, and that's been creeping up as the week has gone on. There have been 97 new hospitalizations in the last 24 hours. That number is down from yesterday. Right now, there are 784 people in the hospital, down just a few from what we saw yesterday, and 206 of those people are being treated in the ICU. There are 18 new ICU admissions in the last day. Looking at the number of people vaccinated against COVID here in Ohio, more than 39% are completely vaccinated. That's close to 4.6 million people, and close to 22,000 people getting completely vaccinated in the last 24 hours. Close to 45% of Ohioans have at least started the vaccination process. That's more than 5.2 million people and more than 26,000 in the last day. Now to some good news I'd like to share with you. A Summit County girl got joy brought to her really when she needed it the most. How far would you go to make your neighbors feel better in maybe their darkest days? Well, in Summit County, Tina Harmon, who owns her own t-shirt store called Eye Candy Embroidery, really went the extra mile for Peyton Green, a 9-year-old who lives in Green and was diagnosed with a brain tumor on New Year's Eve, actually, of 2019 going into 2020. Operation was not possible, so for 15 months she underwent chemotherapy, often going every single week, and for every single chemotherapy appointment, Tina Harmon made her a custom t-shirt. They were all kinds of t-shirts. Some of them were funny sayings, some of them were uplifting sayings. Peyton told me that her favorite t-shirt was one that said, "Yeah, I'm 20% done." And I think that we can all resonate with that one. If you want to see that story, that's up on WKYC.com. Absolutely incredible example of somebody just stepping up to bring some joy, doing what they could with what they had for a neighbor, not expecting anything in return. And this story is part of our pretty new YouTube show called It's All Good News. I get to host this every single week. It drops every Wednesday at 1 p.m. That means it's live now on WKYC.com, on our app, and on our WKYC YouTube page. We have Peyton's story in there. We also have the story of an incredibly funny flower man. Yes, tossing out the petals at a wedding is not just for the young kids. This man does it with a lot of style and a fanny pack, which I happen to particularly appreciate. And also, our Lindsay Buckingham joins me this week with a special story about the best side of social media and how that really helped a Canton couple, Jonathan Moss and Michelle Moss, while Jonathan was dealing with a very rare COVID-19 complication. So you can find that, again, WKYC.com, the app, and also on our WKYC YouTube pages. Now let's take a look at what I consider to be more good news, the 53-man roster projection for the Cleveland Browns. Now, our 3 News sports analyst, Ben Axelrod, runs it down for every single position, but what I want to talk about are the wide receivers here, because this is something where we might see some interesting things happen. So right now, the way it's projected, we've got 6 slots for the wide receivers. There's Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham Jr., Rashard Higgins, Donovan Peoples-Jones. Then there's also Anthony Schwartz and JoJo Natson, who is a returner. Now, the issue here is Kaderil Hodge. He remains a restricted free agent right now, but if he does return to the Browns, could be a challenge for him to find a roster spot. Jarvis Landry, Odell, and Schwartz are pretty much locks, according to Ben, on our Cleveland's 53-man roster, and Rashard Higgins and Donovan Peoples-Jones have already established track records with Baker Mayfield. But an open wide receiver spot could become available if the Browns opt for a kick returner other than JoJo Natson. Lots of moving parts here, lots of time before the season kicks off, but it is fun to think about because I know a lot of us are very excited about the prospects for the 2021 season. Now, turning to the not-so-sweet side of social media, New Era had revealed these local market hats. Now, New Era is the official on-field hat apparel provider for Major League Baseball teams, and they made these local market hats. Well, the one here for the Tribe in Cleveland had some interesting icons on it. It had a pierogi, it had a guitar, the 216 area code, a 1920 World Series patch, a Buckeye nut, and a leaf, and a phrase, Cleveland, the Forest City. Pretty much all of these hats for all 30 Major League Baseball teams were panned on social media, people not really loving them. Some of them saying that they were tacky and generic and inaccurate. The Cincinnati Reds fans, for example, were not happy. They had beef, you might say, over the image of their beloved Skyline chili, which I just don't get the Skyline chili thing, but I know. A lot of people really love it. So anyway, the New Era local market hats were taken down within hours. Not sure if those are going to be coming back or what's going to be going on there. They also weren't cheap, by the way. They were $39.99. So, hey, at least you tried, New Era. I guess we'll see what happens if they end up coming back around. And today on May 26th, it is also World Redhead Day, so we want to celebrate our redheads. Here's a couple fun facts for you about redheads. Does it ever seem to you that there are a lot of redheads in commercials? Well, proportionately speaking, there are more redheads in commercials than there are in the world. A 2014 study found that 30% of ads during primetime hours include someone with red hair, and that is more than redheads make up of the global population. That brings us to another question. Are redheads going extinct? They're not going extinct. This does pop up every few years, but redheads are here to stay. They're not going anywhere. They are, however, mostly left-handed. A lot of redheads do end up being left-handed. Now, researchers believe this could be because both of these characteristics, being redheaded and left-handed, are recessive traits, and recessive traits often come in pairs. Now, those lucky left-handed redheaded people get to celebrate World Redhead Day today on May 26th, Love Your Red Hair Day on November 5th, and International Left-Handers Day on August 13th. So, special days for all of those left-handed redheads. Hug your favorite redhead today, as long as everybody's safe and vaccinated and all of that good stuff. Okay, that's it for your 3 News Now update today for Wednesday, May 26th. I'll see you next up on What's New with your trending stories in the Clicking in Cleveland segment, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for more 3 News Now. Between now and then, everyone, stay safe, be well, and stay dry out there. This is Stephanie Haney.